Farmers in China's Xinjiang province are turning a desert into a thriving farmland.
In recent years, China has been tackling one of the world's most pressing environmental issues: desertification. With vast stretches of land turning to barren deserts, China has implemented groundbreaking techniques to reverse the trend, including burying tons of dead plants under desert sands. What might seem like an odd solution has sparked a major transformation. How did this method change everything in just 10 years? The growing crisis. China has been battling desertification for decades, with vast expanses of land turning into barren desert. This is not a small issue. Desertification affects nearly 1/4 of China's land, and it is only getting worse. The country's northern regions, including parts of Inner Mongolia, Gansu, and Xinjiang, have suffered the worst, with their fertile lands slowly being overtaken by shifting sands. In fact, desertification has become so severe that it poses a significant threat to China's agriculture, water sources, and even the livelihoods of millions of people. As the situation worsens, China has turned to a comprehensive, nationwide strategy to combat desertification. This includes large-scale reforestation, soil conservation, and the construction of green belts to hold back the encroaching sands. Between 2016 and 2020, China made impressive strides, transforming over 21,700,000 acres of desertified land into green zones. This figure represents an average of around 4,300,000 acres each year. This transformation, however, is just the tip of the iceberg. Despite these efforts, the challenge remains monumental. What makes this issue even more daunting is that many experts argue the current solutions, including tree planting, are not enough. Every year, China plants billions of trees and shrubs in an attempt to curb desert expansion, but according to scientists, up to 85% of these plants don't survive. Why? The harsh desert conditions make it almost impossible for plants to establish strong roots in shifting sands. If a plant's roots are exposed to the elements, or if it gets buried under the ever-shifting dunes, survival becomes almost impossible. This means that the efforts, though massive, might not be sustainable in the long term. And if China's desertification is not adequately addressed, it could take 100 years or more to reverse the damage fully. With such daunting challenges, what if China had found a game-changing solution that could completely transform the fight against desertification? A revolutionary approach. While traditional methods of combating desertification through tree planting and soil conservation have been useful, they are not foolproof. One of the biggest obstacles to these efforts is the inability of plants to survive in the shifting sands of the desert. That's where a revolutionary idea comes in: straw cells. This technique, which was pioneered in China, involves using agricultural waste, specifically straw, to stabilize the desert sands and create a fertile environment for plants to thrive. Straw is the leftover material from crops like wheat, rice, and oats. After the harvest, the straw, which consists of the stems and leaves of the plant, is often discarded. However, in China, this once wasted resource is being put to use in an ingenious way. Instead of allowing the straw to go unused, it is strategically placed on sand dunes in grid-like patterns, creating cells that help stabilize the sand and reduce wind erosion. This technique doesn't just prevent the shifting sands from taking over, but also enriches the soil, creating a fertile environment where desert-resistant plants can grow. In essence, these straw cells act like a protective barrier that traps the sand, preventing it from moving freely and exposing plant roots. This process allows seeds to take root in areas where they otherwise wouldn't survive. As the straw decomposes over time, it adds nutrients to the soil, which further improves plant growth. These straw cells act like a natural fertilizer, giving desert plants a fighting chance in an environment that is usually too harsh for them to grow. Straw cells are an innovative solution, but how effective are they? The science behind straw cells. The science behind straw cells is as impressive as the concept itself. At first glance, laying straw down in the desert might seem like a simple solution, but when you look at the actual results, it becomes clear that this method is anything but ordinary. Straw cells create a physical barrier on the surface of the desert, significantly reducing the movement of sand and dust. This process stabilizes the soil and creates a more hospitable environment for plant life. Research has shown that the use of straw cells can reduce the flow of sand by as much as 99.5%. This is an astounding achievement because it essentially makes the shifting sands of the desert still, allowing plants to grow without fear of being buried or exposed. It's this stability that makes straw cells so effective in desert reclamation. But that's not all. The decomposing straw also adds nutrients to the soil, enhancing the fertility of the desert floor. This enables the growth of desert-resistant plants that would otherwise struggle to survive. Over time, the straw cells evolve into a living, breathing part of the ecosystem, supporting the growth of grasses, shrubs, and even trees. This creates a more sustainable and long-term solution to desertification than simple tree planting alone. Straw cells are also a cost-effective method. They are made from agricultural waste that would otherwise go unused, and their installation is relatively inexpensive compared to other methods of desert reclamation. With the ability to create a more fertile environment, reduce sand movement, and improve plant survival, straw cells are proving to be one of the most effective ways to fight desertification. Straw cells are already changing the game in desert reclamation, but what if they could be even more efficient? Scaling up the straw cell solution. The success of straw cells has inspired China to scale up this solution to combat desertification on a national level. To address the ever-growing challenge of desert expansion, China has committed itself to large-scale implementation of straw cells. What once began as a small experiment to stabilize sand dunes has now evolved into a comprehensive, country-wide initiative. The scale of this project is nothing short of massive. In recent years, millions of tons of straw have been collected from agricultural fields across the country. In fact, China collects more than 1 billion tons of straw each year from its vast farmlands. This surplus of straw has become a valuable resource in the fight against desertification, with the government investing in large-scale operations to distribute it across some of the most desertified areas in the country. Once the straw is collected, it is transported to desert regions, where workers strategically lay it down in the form of straw cells. These cells are then covered with sand to hold them in place and prevent the wind from blowing them away. In some cases, specialized machines have been developed to automate this process, allowing workers to quickly and efficiently lay down straw cells across vast stretches of desert land. The scale of this operation is truly remarkable. Each year, hundreds of thousands of acres of desertified land are covered with straw cells, creating a network of stabilization that is starting to show tangible results. As more areas are treated with this method, the desertification process slows down, and the land gradually becomes more fertile. But can straw cells alone save China from its desertification crisis? What other groundbreaking methods are being introduced to complement this solution? Technological advancements in desert reclamation. While straw cells are proving to be effective, China has not relied on this method alone. To enhance their efforts and accelerate the reclamation of desert land, China has introduced a range of cutting-edge technologies. These advancements are transforming the way desertification is tackled, making reclamation efforts faster, more efficient, and more sustainable. One of the most groundbreaking technologies is the use of drones. Drones are now being used to survey desert areas, map out the most degraded regions, and identify the best spots to implement straw cells and other reclamation techniques. This allows for more precise planning and ensures that resources are being used in the most effective way possible. Drones are also used to monitor the health of plants and ensure that they are thriving in the newly reclaimed land. In addition to drones, China has also invested in satellite technology. Satellites provide real-time data on the expansion of desertified areas, enabling the government to track the progress of reclamation projects. This data helps to inform future efforts and ensure that the right strategies are being employed. Moreover, China is exploring the use of advanced irrigation systems. In some areas, the government has implemented systems that allow water to be transported from nearby sources and delivered directly to desert plants. These systems help ensure that plants receive the necessary nutrients and moisture to survive in such a harsh environment. With all these new technologies in play, how long will it take for China to see significant results? The role of government and public participation. In China's battle against desertification, the government plays a critical role in driving large-scale efforts, but they are not alone in this struggle. The Chinese government has strategically involved its citizens in the reclamation process, making it a national movement rather than just a top-down directive. This public participation is not only essential for raising awareness, but also for creating a collective sense of responsibility for the environment. The government's massive investment into desert reclamation has been complemented by a push to engage ordinary people in tree planting activities, with citizens encouraged to plant trees every year. March 12th is an important day in China, known as National Tree Planting Day, when people across the nation head to the fields, deserts, and drylands to plant new trees. On this day, the government mandates that citizens between the ages of 11 and 60 plant a certain number of trees, typically between 3 and 5, each year, or contribute to similar work related to afforestation. This widespread participation is crucial for both symbolic and practical reasons. By getting millions of people involved, China ensures that desertification remains at the forefront of national discussions and is continually addressed at the grassroots level. But the government's approach goes beyond just planting trees. They also provide support and incentives for desert reclamation efforts, such as the development of infrastructure to facilitate easier tree planting and the encouragement of companies to engage in sustainable practices. These combined efforts result in the creation of large-scale reforestation projects that span thousands of miles, turning barren landscapes into green spaces. And it doesn't stop there. Many couples even get married the day before National Tree Planting Day, symbolically linking their union to the act of planting trees and contributing to the fight against desertification. This push to encourage national participation in desert reclamation is, in many ways, one of the driving forces behind the widespread success of these efforts. By making tree planting and desert reclamation a part of the country's cultural fabric, China is ensuring that these efforts are sustainable, with public support and involvement serving as a backbone for future successes. The sheer number of trees being planted each year in China is staggering. Estimates suggest that around 50 billion trees have been planted in recent years alone. However, while this is an impressive figure, challenges still remain when it comes to plant survival rates in the harshest environments. Despite all these efforts, many experts still question the long-term effectiveness of these planting projects. Could there be an even better solution to help plants thrive in the desert? Straw cells and their impact on desert survival rates. China's innovative use of straw cells in desert reclamation is not just a temporary solution. It is a game changer that could alter the way we think about desert survival. Traditional methods of planting trees and shrubs in deserts have not always been successful, with many plants dying due to the shifting sands and harsh wind conditions. However, straw cells offer a natural, sustainable alternative that has already yielded remarkable results. The method works by laying down straw in grid-like patterns over sand dunes and barren land. These straw cells are placed in trenches where they act as a protective barrier against the wind, helping to stabilize the shifting sands. When these straw cells are installed, they trap dust and sand, which eventually accumulates and creates a fertile top layer of soil. This, in turn, creates an environment that is conducive to the growth of desert-resistant plants. Not only do the straw cells prevent sand from moving, but they also provide a nutrient-rich environment for plants to thrive. In addition to stabilizing the sand, the decomposition of the straw over time helps to enrich the soil with organic matter, providing nutrients that plants need to grow. This process creates a self-sustaining ecosystem, where the plants that are planted in these straw cells can take root and survive. Moreover, as the straw decomposes, it releases essential nutrients into the soil, further enhancing the fertility of the land. This natural fertilization process reduces the need for chemical fertilizers, making it an environmentally friendly solution. Studies have shown that straw cells can significantly improve plant survival rates in desert conditions. In some cases, the survival rate of plants planted within straw cells is far higher than in traditional tree planting projects. The stability provided by the straw cells reduces the exposure of plant roots to the wind and shifting sands, ensuring that the plants have the best possible chance of survival. This method has proven so effective that it is now being implemented across vast stretches of desertified land in China. With the success of straw cells in desert reclamation, could this be the solution to combating desertification around the world? How China is expanding the straw cell solution. The success of straw cells has sparked a massive effort to scale up this technology across China's desertified regions. What began as a small project has now evolved into a national initiative to restore millions of acres of land to its natural, fertile state. The Chinese government has heavily invested in expanding the use of straw cells, recognizing the immense potential this method holds for stabilizing sand dunes and reclaiming lost land. The process is not without its challenges, though. Transporting straw to desert regions is not an easy task. The sheer volume of straw needed to cover large desert areas is staggering, and transporting it to remote, hard-to-reach locations requires a great deal of effort and investment. Nevertheless, China has committed itself to overcoming these obstacles, as the potential benefits far outweigh the costs. To make the process more efficient, China has developed specialized machinery to automate the laying of straw cells. These machines can quickly and efficiently distribute straw across vast stretches of desert land, drastically reducing the amount of manual labor required. By mechanizing the process, China has been able to cut down on costs and speed up the reclamation efforts, allowing for large-scale operations to take place. The scale of this project is truly remarkable. Over the years, millions of tons of straw have been laid down across thousands of acres of desert, and the results have been astounding. Entire regions of China that were once barren and inhospitable are now showing signs of life, with grasses, shrubs, and trees beginning to grow in the newly stabilized sand dunes. These projects have transformed vast stretches of desert into green spaces, creating ecosystems that support a wide variety of plant and animal life. Straw cells have shown incredible success on a national scale. But how does this new approach stack up in comparison to other innovative desert reclamation methods used worldwide? Exporting desert reclamation technology. The success of China's straw cell method has not only impacted its own desert reclamation efforts, but has also inspired countries around the world to adopt this innovative technology. China's approach to combating desertification has become a model for other nations facing similar challenges. By sharing its knowledge and expertise, China has made significant contributions to the global fight against desertification, positioning itself as a leader in environmental conservation. Countries like Mongolia, Iran, and Saudi Arabia have turned to China for help in tackling their own desertification issues. These nations are adopting the straw cell technique to stabilize their own shifting sands and restore fertile land. With desertification becoming an increasingly urgent issue worldwide, China's technology has become a vital tool for countries that are struggling with the environmental and economic impacts of desert expansion. The Chinese government has also established international partnerships to promote sustainable desert reclamation. By providing financial and technical support to countries in need, China is helping to extend the benefits of straw cell technology to regions beyond its borders. This global outreach is part of China's broader commitment to environmental conservation and combating climate change. In addition to the straw cell technique, China has also shared its knowledge of other desert reclamation methods, including tree planting, soil conservation, and water management strategies. The country's expertise in desertification has made it a key player in international environmental initiatives, and its influence continues to grow as more countries adopt its methods. With China's desert reclamation technology making waves across the world, what other innovations are helping to fight desertification? How the world is fighting back. Desertification is not just a problem confined to China. It's a global issue that is affecting regions all over the world. Climate change, overgrazing, deforestation, and poor land management have all contributed to the expansion of deserts and the degradation of once productive land. The United Nations reports that approximately 1/3 of the Earth's land surface is affected by desertification, and this problem is only expected to worsen in the coming decades. As a result, nations across the globe are stepping up their efforts to combat desertification and reverse its devastating effects. One of the most significant initiatives is the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, UNCCD, which has been working since the mid-90s to address desertification, land degradation, and drought. The UNCCD promotes sustainable land management practices, policy development, and international cooperation to combat the expanding deserts, particularly in areas like Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. Many countries have adopted a variety of methods to fight desertification, often relying on both traditional and innovative solutions. For example, countries like India and Ethiopia have been planting trees and introducing new agricultural techniques to restore degraded land. The Great Green Wall initiative in Africa aims to plant trees across the Sahel region, a vast area of land that is severely affected by desertification. This massive project involves planting billions of trees to create a wall of vegetation that will help stop the desert from spreading southward. Another promising solution comes from Israel, which has developed highly efficient water management and irrigation systems that can transform arid landscapes into fertile land. With the help of cutting-edge technologies like drip irrigation and desalination plants, Israel has made deserts bloom, providing a model for other countries in similar situations. China's contributions to this global effort are becoming increasingly significant. As we've seen, the straw cell technology, combined with large-scale reforestation projects, has been highly effective in mitigating desertification in China. However, China is not stopping at just solving its own environmental challenges. It is actively sharing its knowledge with other countries and partnering with them to help restore degraded land globally. Despite all the efforts being made, desertification remains a difficult problem to solve. Many experts argue that the scale of the issue is so vast that it will take decades, if not centuries, to fully reverse the damage. However, the fact that solutions like the straw cell method, the Great Green Wall, and Israel's water technologies are making a difference shows that it is possible to fight back against the desertification crisis. Could China's desert reclamation technology be the key to combating other global challenges? Beyond desertification. As impressive as China's use of straw cells has been for desert reclamation, their potential goes far beyond just combating desertification. The principles behind the straw cell technology, creating stability, conserving moisture, and enriching the soil, could be adapted to solve other global environmental challenges, including soil erosion, deforestation, and even flooding. One area where straw cells could play a crucial role is in soil erosion. Soil erosion is a major issue in many parts of the world, where wind and water continuously wash away valuable topsoil, leading to reduced agricultural productivity and increased vulnerability to flooding. Straw cells, with their ability to stabilize the soil and prevent erosion, could provide a natural solution to this problem. By using straw in regions prone to erosion, it could be possible to protect the soil, reduce runoff, and enhance the land's ability to retain water. Another potential application for straw cells is in the reforestation of areas impacted by deforestation. Deforestation has been a major issue in places like the Amazon rainforest, where logging, agriculture, and urbanization are driving massive tree loss. By using the same principles that have made straw cells successful in desert reclamation, the technology could be applied to areas that have been stripped of their vegetation. The straw could act as a temporary layer that helps stabilize the soil and create the right conditions for new trees and plants to grow. In this way, straw cells could play a critical role in global efforts to reforest areas that have been impacted by human activity. Furthermore, straw cells have the potential to improve urban sustainability. As cities around the world continue to grow, the problem of urban sprawl and the degradation of natural habitats is becoming more pressing. Straw cells could be used in urban areas to create green spaces, reduce the urban heat island effect, and promote biodiversity. The use of straw as a building material for green roofs, for example, could help cool buildings, absorb rainwater, and provide a habitat for wildlife. The technology could also be used to restore urban parks and gardens, making cities more resilient to climate change. With so many potential uses for straw cells, the technology might just be the solution to other environmental challenges as well. How else could this simple yet innovative solution be used to protect our planet? The future of straw cells and desertification. Looking ahead, the future of straw cells in desert reclamation and beyond is incredibly promising. As more countries struggle with desertification and environmental degradation, the demand for cost-effective, sustainable solutions will continue to rise. The straw cell method offers a low-tech, environmentally friendly way to combat desertification while simultaneously improving the fertility of the land. With its proven success in China, it is only a matter of time before this technique is adopted more widely around the globe. In the coming years, technological advancements may make the straw cell process even more efficient. For example, innovations in robotics and artificial intelligence could allow for more automated systems that lay down straw cells even faster and more accurately. As the global focus shifts towards sustainable land management, these advancements could significantly increase the speed at which desert reclamation projects are carried out. Moreover, the collaboration between countries facing similar challenges will only strengthen the impact of desertification efforts. International partnerships and the sharing of knowledge and technologies, like China's straw cell system, will be key to addressing the global desertification crisis. As we continue to face the adverse effects of climate change, it is crucial that nations work together to find and implement solutions that benefit both people and the planet. The success of China's straw cell method offers hope that desertification can be slowed or even reversed. But the fight against desertification is not just about planting trees and laying down straw. It's about changing the way we think about land management, sustainability, and our relationship with the environment. China's innovative approach has not only provided a blueprint for combating desertification, but it has also sparked a global movement toward environmental restoration that could have far-reaching implications for the future of our planet. The concept of straw cells may sound simple, but the science behind them is both fascinating and highly effective. When we talk about straw cells, we are referring to a method of sand stabilization that uses bundles of straw placed on the ground in specific patterns to combat the movement of sand dunes. While this idea may seem elementary, it leverages some advanced principles of natural physics and environmental science to create an incredibly successful defense against desertification. First, let's explore how the straw works to trap the shifting sands. When wind blows across a desert, it carries with it millions of tiny sand particles that can bury plants, destroy crops, and cause widespread soil erosion. Straw, when placed strategically, acts as a natural barrier to the wind, slowing it down and preventing the sand from being displaced. The straw's fibers create friction that reduces the velocity of the wind across the desert's surface. This decrease in wind speed results in less sand being carried across the land, which in turn reduces the risk of sandstorms and other desert-related disasters. Another key aspect of the straw cell technology is the moisture retention property of the straw. As the straw decomposes over time, it releases organic matter into the soil, enriching it with nutrients that are critical for plant growth. This organic matter also helps to retain moisture, which is essential for plants trying to survive in arid conditions. Straw cells essentially create microenvironments where seeds can take root, thrive, and gradually transform barren deserts into more fertile landscapes. By enriching the soil with natural fertilizers, the straw acts as a precursor to more substantial plant growth, improving the chances of trees, shrubs, and grasses surviving and flourishing in otherwise hostile environments. In addition to moisture retention and wind control, straw also acts as a natural insulator. This is particularly important in desert areas where extreme temperatures can fluctuate drastically between day and night. The straw helps to maintain a more stable temperature for the soil, which in turn protects the roots of plants from the intense heat of the sun during the day and the cold temperatures at night. This makes the environment more favorable for plant growth and helps to ensure the long-term success of vegetation planted in desert regions. The straw cell method does more than just hold back sand, it nurtures the land. Over time, as the straw breaks down, it creates a fertile bed of organic material that allows other plants to grow and thrive. This innovative approach to combating desertification combines the power of nature with simple yet effective methods to restore the desert ecosystem. In a world where technology is often seen as the solution to all problems, it's refreshing to see that sometimes the simplest solutions, like using straw, can be the most effective. China's innovative approach to desert reclamation has changed the way we think about combating desertification. Through the use of straw cells, reforestation, and other sustainable methods, they are turning barren landscapes into green oases. But the journey doesn't end here. What do you think the future holds for global desert reclamation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and be sure to watch our next video for more insights into environmental innovations.